Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is something that is so unbelievable. I never would have thought this would have ever been brought to my attention. I never would have thought this was ever possible, but it is. And it's like out of this world type thing, okay? So I'm going to flip you around so you can see the screen, okay? Because you guys need to see this. I don't want to be the only one to see it, that type of thing. It's weather is a force multiplier, owning the weather in 2025. Yeah, owning the weather, okay? So I'm going to get to the summary, and then we're going to talk about everything. Okay, so you can see that. Yeah, it says in 2025 U.S. aerospace forces can own the weather by capitalizing on emergency technologies and focusing development of those technologies to warfighting applications. Such a capability offers the war fighter tools to shape the battle space in ways never before possible. It provides opportunities to impact operations across the full spectrum of conflict and is pertinent to all possible futures. The purpose of this paper is to outline the strategy for the use of a future weather mod system to achieve military objectives. And then let's go down, okay? It says this is to degrade enemy forces, enhance friendly forces, okay? So to degrade enemy forces, precipitation enhancement, right? Flood lines of communication, reduce effectiveness, decrease comfort level, morale. Okay, well, what have they been doing with us, with all of the flooding? Okay, storm enhancement, deny operations, precipitation denial, deny fresh water, induce drought. Okay, well, we haven't had any droughts, right? So the space weather, disrupt communication radar, right? Disable, destroy space assets, fog and cloud removal. Okay, but over here for the enhancement of friendly forces, maintain or improve LOC, maintain visibility, maintain comfort level or morale. Well, I don't know about you, okay, but there's been no precipitation avoidance, especially here in Florida, okay. Comfort level, okay. The feel like temperatures here, okay, today it was like 106. Okay, you want to talk about going outside and feeling like you're on the 7th level of Hades, okay? Space weather, fog, okay, fog and cloud generation, okay? So it says down here that the current technologies that will mature over the next 30 years will offer anyone who has the necessary resources the ability to modify weather patterns. Okay, let's just stop. Okay, leave stuff alone. Okay, stop messing with nature. Okay, just let things be the way that they always were. All right, so because it says here current demographic, economic and environmental trends will create global stresses that provide the impetus necessary and for many countries or groups to turn this weather modification ability into a capability. In the United States, weather modification will likely become a part of a national security policy with both domestic and international applications. So it says down here that assuming that in 2025 our national security strategy includes weather modification, its use in our national military strategy will naturally follow. Beside the significant benefits, and operational capability would provide another motivation to pursue weather modification is to deter and to counter potential adversaries. So here they give us a scenario, okay, and it says, imagine that in 2025 the U.S. is fighting a rich but now consolidated politically powerful cartel in South America. Well, that's a common occurrence. We're constantly fighting those types of people, yes, especially at the border. It says the cartel has purchased hundreds of Russian and Chinese built fighters that have successfully thwarted our attempts to attack their production facilities. With their local numerical superiority and interior lines, the cartel is launching more than 10 aircraft for every one of ours. In addition, the cartel is using the French system Probatoire d'Observation de la Terre, or SPOT, positioning and tracking imagery systems, which in 2025 are capable of transmitting near real-time multispectral imagery and 1-meter resolution. The U.S., which wishes to engage the enemy on an uneven playing field in order to exploit the full potential of our aircraft and munitions. Meteorological analysis reveals that equatorial South America typically has afternoon thunderstorms on a daily basis throughout the year. Our intelligence has confirmed that cartel pilots are reluctant to fly near thunderstorms. Therefore, our Weather Force Support Element, which is a part of the Commander-in-Chief's Air Operations Center, is tasked to forecast storm paths and trigger or intensify thunderstorm cells over critical target areas that the enemy must defend with their aircraft. Since our aircraft in 2025 have all-weather capability, the thunderstorm threat is minimal to our forces, and we can effectively and decisively control the sky over the target. The WFSE has necessary sensor and communication capabilities to observe, detect, and act on weather modification requirements to support U.S. military objectives. These capabilities are part of an advanced battle area system that supports the war-fighting CINC. In our scenario, the CINC tasks the WFSE to conduct storm intensification and concealment operations. The WFSE models the atmospheric conditions to forecast with 90% confidence that the likelihood of successful modification using airborne cloud generation and seeding. Well, see, that's great and all, if you're actually going to use it in that kind of scenario. But from what we have been seeing, they're not using that for that type of scenario. They're using it against the American citizens to flood us out, okay, to cause chaos and mayhem and loss of life. So it goes on to say, in 2025, uninhabited aerospace vehicles, or UAV, are routinely used for weather modification operations by cross-referencing desired attack times with wind and thunderstorm forecasts and the SPOT satellite projected orbit. The WFSE generates mission profiles for each UAV. The WFSE guides each UAV using near real-time information from a networked sensor array. And then it goes on to say, prior to the attack, which is coordinated and forecasted weather conditions, the UAVs being cloud generation and seed operations. UAVs disperse a Cirrus, and that's Cirrus is the CIRRUS. That's a type of cloud, okay, shield to deny enemy visual and infrared surveillance. Simultaneously, microwave heaters create localized scintillation to disrupt active sensing via synthetic aperture radar systems, such as the commercially available Canadian search and rescue satellite aiding tracking that will be widely available in 2025. Other cloud seeding operations cause a developing thunderstorm to intensify over the target, severely limiting the enemy's capability to defend. This scenario may seem far-fetched, but in 2025, it is within the realm of possibility. The next chapter explores the reasons for weather modification, defines the scope, and examines trends that will make it possible in the next 30 years. So this is the next chapter. And it says, according to General Gordon Sullivan, who is the former Army Chief of Staff, he said that as we leap technology into the 21st century, we will be able to see the enemy day or night in any weather and go after him relentlessly. Well, that's awesome. But like I said, with the weather modification that's going on right now, they're using it against American citizens. And like it says right here, extreme and controversial examples of weather modifications. Creation of made-to-order weather, large-scale climate modification, creation and or control or steering of severe storms, etc. And this right here, this steering, okay, I, in my opinion, have actually seen this happen, okay? What was it? Which hurricane was it? Oh, dear me. Let me look it up. Okay, it was Hurricane Irma. That's right. It was Hurricane Irma. And I remember because it was only supposed to hit the east coast of Florida. And I remember because my sister Lori lives in Fort Lauderdale, and I had called her and I told her, I said, well, why don't you come over here to the west coast? I said, because we're not getting hit. So she drove all the way over here, and son of a gun, if that thing didn't reroute itself and didn't even touch the west coast, but it slammed the west. It didn't hit the east coast, but it slammed the west coast, and we had no power, no nothing for 2 weeks. And boy, did she fought with me. She's like, I should have stayed in Fort Lauderdale, and I said, like, we knew, you know what I mean? And yeah, that was really bad. And then Milton did the same thing. I believe that wasn't supposed to hit us either, and that boom, that hit us like a son of a gun too. So this steering right here, I've seen it myself. So when they say, oh no, we don't touch her, yes, you do touch hurricanes. I've seen it myself. So, and then when DeSantis just a couple of weeks ago said that he signed a law saying that no more weather modification, that's only going to make them do weather mod even more and screw with our hurricanes even more. And here in Florida, on the west coast where we live here in Tampa, we generally don't get hit with hurricanes until August, September, October. So we're literally just sitting here waiting. Sean and I we've been prepping for years, you know what I mean? So we've got some things that we still want to get. We want to get some more solar powered lights. We have them for the outside, but we want to get more for the inside. We're good on food, water, batteries, all that kind of stuff. But we're like sitting ducks over here. We really are. But anyway, this says that, you know, they're steering. I've seen it. They're lying. But anyway, a lot of this has to do with the military. Okay. I'm going to see. Okay, this is a PDF. If you want the PDF, okay, just email me, and in the subject line of the email, just put PDF, you know, Own the Weather PDF, and I will email this PDF back to you, okay? Because I can't like leave a link or anything like that in the description box because there is no link, okay? So let me know if you want this PDF and I will gladly email it back to you. All right, that is all for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. All right, you stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.